Are you worried about getting coronavirus? Did you know that actually fear of getting coronavirus could make you more at risk for getting that infection? In this episode, I am going to share with you what happens in your brain and in your body when you are afraid and how that actually increases your likelihood of getting sick. I'm also going to give you 3 tips on how to keep yourself safe. I'm Dr. Darlene Mayo. I'm a neurosurgeon and a neuroscientist, and I help high achievers just like you reach peak performance of mind, body, and spirit using groundbreaking techniques in both science and scripture so you can unlock your full potential. All right, so let's get to it. Fear is an incredibly powerful emotion. And you know, if you've been on the news these days, it's coronavirus this, coronavirus that, right? We're hearing words like pandemic, which induces fear. Even the stock market is falling right now because of this coronavirus outbreak. Here's the problem with that. When there is fear, mass fear, it causes incredible changes in your brain and in your body that actually increase your risk for infection. All right, so when you are afraid, one of the changes that happen is your body will release cortisol. It is one of your stress hormones, okay? A side effect of having a lot of cortisol released over and over again, so persistent fear, is that it actually depresses your immune system. It makes it hard for your lymphocytes, which are one of your immune cells, to fight off a viral infection in particular. There are studies that have shown this. The second thing that happens when you are afraid is the part of your brain that is involved with thinking and with reasoning. It actually does not get as much blood flow. The blood is instead diverted to the basal parts of the brain, like the brainstem that causes your heart to beat and your lungs to breathe, right? So all this thinking area of your brain is not getting activated. What does that do? That causes you to often go into panic mode, not even be able to consider rationally whether what you're hearing is fact or whether what you're hearing is fiction, which makes your fear even worse. So what do you do, right? If you turn to scripture, right, it tells you in the Bible over 100 times in one version, do not be afraid, right? It even says, do not be afraid of illness in certain places of the Bible. But here's the question. How do we not be afraid? I am going to give you 3 tips today that are going to help you with this, and these are all based in neuroscience. Number 1 thing I will tell you is when you are afraid, or to even avoid being afraid, one of the best things you can do for your body is actually move. I know that sounds crazy, but you've heard doctors talk about this before, right? Exercise, it helps lower your stress level. Well, when you are afraid, it is so important to move, and here's the reason why. I mentioned to you that when you're afraid, your cortisol levels go up, right? Well, guess what happens when you start moving your body? Your dopamine levels go up. This is one of your happiness neurochemicals, motivating neurochemicals, right? But it's also released during movement. And when your dopamine goes up, cortisol starts to come down, okay? So guess what? You've now helped to boost your immune system. Researchers are just beginning to study this correlation between elevated dopamine levels and decreased risk of infection. Tip number 2, and this one may sound a little crazy, but hear me out here. I'm going to ask you to activate all 5 of your senses, okay? Sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell, okay? You may say, what in the world does this have to do with the immune system or being afraid? Well, guess what? Your immune system is very closely tied to all of your other systems. And of course that makes sense, right? If you think about it from a nature standpoint, if you smell something or taste something that is poisonous or not healthy for you, of course your immune system is going to get activated, right? So you can actually take advantage of this natural defense mechanism that you have. There are even essential oils that have been shown to improve your immune system. And one of those is lemon oil. So you can use lemon essential oil, or you can even cut a lemon, squeeze it, and inhale it. Taste it a little bit, and this will help to boost your immune system. Actually, touching things with many different textures is a technique to help people to lower their anxiety levels, but you can also use this to help lower your fear levels. And as your fear levels come down, your cortisol comes down and your immune system will be boosted. And tip number 3 is be careful what you are eating and drinking, okay? One of the first things that I'm going to tell you is that alcohol and other things that are toxic to you actually can block your immune response, weaken your immune response, and make you much more susceptible to infection. From a fear standpoint, alcohol is very dangerous too. A lot of people drink when they are afraid. However, here's the problem. That actually, it changes your perception, so you're not seeing things clearly. Number 2, alcohol can activate this area of your brain called the amygdala, which is responsible for emotions and fear. Also, you want to pay attention to the health of your other body systems, like your gut. Your gut has connections with your immune system, just like your brain has connections with your immune system. So, keeping your gut healthy with probiotics actually can reduce your chance of getting an infection. Fear is very, very dangerous, particularly when we are afraid of something like a viral illness like coronavirus. So I hope these tips were helpful for you. I will tell you, if you want more in-depth knowledge about ways naturally to boost your immune system, I am running a 3-day training next week. It's free online with 2 other medical professionals. The name of that training is How to Prepare and Protect Yourself and Your Family from Coronavirus. So sign up for that training. It's completely free. I will drop the link to that just below this video. Thank you, and we will see you next week with more neuroscience and faith-based knowledge for you.